Parents across America are standing up against woke agendas in schools and fighting for a say in their kids' education. But a Pennsylvania school board member is responding by telling those parents, "I don't work for you," writing, quote, "With all due respect to the men and women who snarl, I'm a taxpayer, you work for me. No, I don't work for you. I was elected by people who voted to represent you." Joining me now, Nicole Neily, president of Parents Defending Education. Nicole, quite the statement from this person. Do you agree with him?
Of course I do not agree with him. It's appalling that he said this. He is just the latest in a string of elected officials who have finally let the mask slip, that this whole part of the consent of the governed part is really just an inconvenient speed bump on their way to forcing their agenda down people's throats.
You know, I know that you spend a lot of time focusing on this issue, of course, given your position as president of this organization. How common do you think this sentiment is among school board members across the country?
Sadly, I think it's extremely common. Last year, there was the hot mic episode outside of San Francisco where the school board was caught mocking their constituents. They all resigned en masse. And even just last week, the Democratic Party of Michigan had a social media post that they had to take down. It said, "The purpose of public education is not to teach kids only what parents want them to be taught. It's to teach them what society needs to know. The client of the public school is not the parent, but the entire community." And then, of course, let's not forget Terry McAuliffe and his, we can't even call it a gaffe, because at the end of the day, there really is this group of politicians who believe it takes a village. Your children belong to us collectively, not you as the family.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you brought up Terry McAuliffe, because the Virginia gubernatorial race was decided in part because of education. So do you think that parents are waking up to this this controversy enough so that school boards will change in the future?
Absolutely. People are listening, they are watching, and they're indignant about how their concerns are being dismissed, treated, mocked. We see over and over again school boards that are now restricting public comment because it turns out they don't like being criticized for their decisions that they have made unilaterally. And so, yeah, parents will not, they're not going to take being ignored, being pushed out of this equation. I'm still not allowed even to walk into the front door of my child's school. And so people don't know what's going on, and they rightfully fear it, because when we get the tips about what's happening, they're appalled by the kinds of handouts, by the kinds of lessons that their children are learning.
Why aren't you allowed to walk in through the front door of your child's school?
COVID. It's still all COVID related.
Yeah, I hear that, and I know that issue is very frustrating, especially with some students going back to remote learning. I'm sure there's a lot of parents watching right now who are wondering what they can do in their local communities to get involved. What recommendations do you have for them?
Sure. I mean, I think it's the price of liberty is eternal vigilance. It's incumbent on everybody to ask. And, you don't have to jump into filing a federal lawsuit from day one, but ask your teacher for handouts, for copies of lesson plans. If they won't give it to you, ask the principal. File public records requests. This is being done to your children with your tax dollars. So don't let them push you away. Don't let them try and freeze you out, because you deserve to know what your child is learning. And if you don't get the right answers, please reach out to us, because we want to help you, because you deserve to know. These are your parental rights.
Nicole, thank you for joining us this morning.